Today I'm talking about how to overcome anxiety posting on Facebook for your business. Um, I hope you guys are having a good day. Um, Anyways, I felt compelled to talk about this topic because I've been feeling, I really was dealing with some anxiety in a different way when it came to my email inbox. I hate my email inbox. I hate, feeling the little bells go off and knowing that I have something to look at, and I'm afraid that it's because I've done something wrong. Someone has a comment. Anyways, my email inbox freaks me out. But I wanted to talk today about social media. So most of you guys probably wouldn't know by now, since I'm always on here with my face and my posts and my pictures. Doing this used to terrify me. It used to scare me so much to talk about my business, to put it on my news feed, to friend strangers, all of those things. Um, but I still knew that I needed to get past it. I wanted the benefits more than it was uncomfortable. And something I hear a lot from my clients is that, I'm not alone in that. Anxiety when it comes to posting on social media is super normal. It's something that I deal with still, even on a smaller degree. But I've come across ways that have helped me deal with it because the benefits to me are more important in the long run. So I want to talk more about like what could cause your anxiety. It's good to understand where your anxiety is coming from when it comes to this stuff. And then I also have 6 tips on what has helped me as far as exercises and tools to help me get past it and still continue to post no matter what, because I want that visibility more than it's uncomfortable. So, anyways, FOP, fear of posting. I came across that and it made me laugh. So instead of FOMO, fear of missing out, it's fear of posting. And you could be afraid of posting for a variety of reasons. Maybe you don't know when to post. You don't know what platform to post on. This is a Facebook thing or a Twitter thing. How often should I post? What time of day should I post? What kind of images do I include? What if I post and no one responds? How personal should I be? Should I be strictly professional? What are others going to say? It's it's a hard thing. It's there's so many variables that come with it, and similar to an anxiety that comes from email, part of why it's sometimes hard to send an email response is you don't have any nonverbal cues, which is what a lot of our communication is, and there's a delay in response. So you're sending something out into the ether and you have no idea what the reaction is. You have no feedback. You're just sending it out there. That's stressful for us. That's not how we're used to communicating. And guess what? Posting on social media, it triggers social anxiety. It really does. If you're posting on social media for your business, it's like a networking event that never ends. And I can attest to this. Facebook is where I do the majority of my business marketing. And it's always talking to people, always connecting, except the event doesn't end. The ballroom doesn't close. You're always talking to people. And so if you're like introverted or networking events aren't your thing, it's hard because you feel like you always have to be on for social media and you get tired of it. There's a thing called social media fatigue. Um, you'll want to pull back. Um, and it's hard. Uh, Not only is it like a social anxiety, there's also like a performance anxiety. Um, your stage fright. So my mother is very sweet and smart and kind, but she would rather die in a burning building than go on stage. And putting your face and your thoughts and your voice on social media, it's putting it on a stage. And if you have any kind of stage fright, you feel this big spotlight and you just freeze up. It's an anxiety inducing activity. Not only that, but it's just like Facebook is just this platform where you get this performance anxiety because you're comparing yourself to everyone. Like everyone is showing, of course, their best side. Everyone's curating their best picture after taking 20 takes, and you're thinking, I can't write as well as this person. I can't post as consistently. So why even try? You have this pressure to be perfect. You have this pressure to try and keep up with everyone else. You get bogged down in this comparison and maybe even in envy. It's just like, well, I can't write as good as this person, so why even bother? Um, And it's also overwhelming, from a technology perspective. You have to learn a new strategy. It's a whole new skill set that you're trying to keep up with. And, that's taxing on your brain. That takes energy. Um, and then not only that, most businesses, I got a percentage here, it's crazy. Most businesses, especially small businesses, they're doing it themselves. It's a lot of time to keep up with this stuff. And that's overwhelming, especially when you look at it, from like, uh, a backed up view and just see the whole big monster. It's just like, oh my God, that's going to take me so much time. And you get overwhelmed. Um, what does it say? Okay. Da, da, da. Yeah, only 28% of businesses in this survey had someone doing the marketing for them. Otherwise, the other 72%, they're taking care of it themselves. So not only are you overwhelmed by the stress of this task because you don't know what to do or how to do it, you have to take on this burden of time. So all of that is super stressful. But at the end of the day, you come to the realization, as I did, it's just like this is hugely beneficial to your business. And even though you're anxious and you're unfamiliar with it, you still have to find a way to do it. So that's where we're at. And that's the point that I got to. So I started working with a business coach back in September, I think it was. And I needed help because this was a part of the program that she laid out. I needed to make connections online, and I did not know how to do it. And everything she was telling me to do, like posting to Facebook every day and going live on Facebook, these were all brand new things that made me super uncomfortable. And then I kept avoiding it. I didn't want to do. So the first thing I would encourage you to do is, especially if you've never done this before, if you haven't taken that leap into posting, take action and do it fast. Do it fast and imperfect. One of the coaches on her team, Clarence, shout out to Clarence, he helped me get over that ledge. I knew I was having a hard time making this jump. And so what I did is I I reached out to him and I was like, I know I need to get past this next step. I know I need to do a Facebook Live. I just can't get over the anxiety. So he kept me accountable. He's like, here's what you're going to do. You're going to hang up the phone with me right now. I'm going to be watching your Facebook profile and you're going to do a live right this second. And I'm like, excuse me? I don't have anything prepared. He's like, I don't care. Talk about anything. Talk for 2 minutes. Just talk. Just get on there. I was terrified, but I had this social pressure. I had someone keeping me accountable. And so I on there just started talking about my move to Israel. And all these people started to comment. They were all very supportive. I'm stumbling, I'm stuttering. I have no game plan. I'm just kind of rolling with the punches. And people were very kind. And the beautiful thing that taking action does is that it takes away all of your what ifs. You can conjure up all of these potential issues of what would happen if you post, all of the bad comments people might say, all of the bad business reviews you're going to get because people think you're being unprofessional, or whatever, the family members who are going to tell you that you did a crappy job and you shouldn't do it. 99% of the time what you're thinking is not actually going to happen that you're afraid of. So I would encourage you to just do something, take action. And if you know that you're having a hard time getting over the hump, ask someone to help you take the action to keep you accountable. It was a huge benefit for me. And once I realized that the world didn't burn down and people were kind and I didn't make a fool of myself, even though I misspoke and didn't have a clear plan, people were just excited to have me show up, be authentic, and trying. That was a big eye opener. It's like, oh, okay. All right, that wasn't too bad. And then every time after that, it got easier. So just start. Start right now. Another thing, for what it's worth, in case you're worried about it, social media posts, they decay so fast. So one of the reasons why I stay, busy in a business is that Facebook posts, you have to keep putting new ones up in order for them to be seen. So a question I get a lot of the time, the biggest fear I probably hear most often is, can I post too much? Technically, sure. The odds of a solopreneur bookkeeper posting too much is like less than 1%, I think. Um, Because here's the thing, your Facebook post, just so you have an example, it's about 5 hours where it'll show up in the news feeds of others. So, for example, I live in Israel, which is 7 hours ahead of Eastern Standard Time. So I have to time that carefully. I can't post things at 9 a.m. my time because then it's 2 a.m. in the US, and a lot fewer people will see that. I've dealt with that before. I have to wait until the people that I usually talk to who are in the US will be awake and will see it on their newsfeed and engage. And then in that 5 hour window, only in the first half will you get like 75% of your engagement. Um, and then, quite honestly, people have so much stuff on their social media posts. How many friends do you have? How many pages do you follow? And you have all of these posts. Um, I know that you spent a lot of time working on that post, but the odds of someone seeing it is already small, and the odds of someone overanalyzing it is probably even smaller than that. So don't worry, especially if you're just starting out. Just get started. Just get started. Um, the social media posts are not meant to be something to be perfectly crafted. It's a little more informal. Um, and if you still are having trouble getting past it, something that always helps me. So, number two, keep in mind that not as many people are seeing it as you think. So, that's to help combat like the stage fright kind of thing. There aren't as many people in the audience as you think there are, if that helps. Um, but the third thing that really helps me is when I'm catastrophizing in my head. I don't know if that's a verb, it is now, if it wasn't before. um, Write out exactly what you're afraid will happen. I'm afraid that I'll look stupid. I'm afraid that I'll use incorrect grammar. I'm afraid that people will think I'm too pushy. I'm afraid that, I'm afraid that, all of these people will unfriend me or something like that. Write out what you're afraid of. Um, Whenever I do that for mine, they totally lose juice. It's just like, oh, even just saying these ones out loud right now, it's just like, oh, those aren't that bad, I guess. And it becomes less scary. Like, it almost like it's taking the monster out of the closet. Make sure the monster's out of the closet. Don't take the mask off. Make sure that they're exposed. And once you know what you're fighting against in your head, it's not only do they look smaller, they give you that's how you make a plan to deal with it. However, I do understand that some days you just have a bad day and need to back away. Last week I had some technical difficulties and everything was the end of the world for me. And my boyfriend, Ito, was trying to talk through it with me. And he finally got to a point where he's just like, all right, we can't talk about this anymore right now. You can't do this. And that's okay. But what I encourage you is just like, if you have a bad day, fine. Have a glass of wine, go to bed early, get up and do it again tomorrow. Keep pushing. It gets better. It gets better. I promise. Um, Another thing that helps me is not just identifying the monsters for number three, but number four, write out your big why. Why are you posting on social media? Why are you going through the discomfort of creating content calendars and doing live feeds and creating blogs to your website and putting your face on social media? Why are you doing this? Because if you remember that and it's bigger than your discomfort, it is what will push you to keep doing it. Jen Sincero talks about how she really didn't want to do like the cheesy like online social media stuff. Like it just like it hurt her soul. Like she was artistic like earlier, and she wanted to be cool and removed, but her why was bigger. She wanted to have a successful book. She wanted to have a career that made money. She wanted to get out of debt, and those reasons were big enough to get past her discomfort in showing up and being in like doing publicity. It's important to promote yourself on social media. There's just no way around it. Um, there's an article I wrote, and I like the way they said it. Accept that it's important and valuable to promote yourself on social media. We're past a point in time where your work will speak for itself. You need to speak for your work and help your audience understand why they should care. We're in an age where you have to be your own media strategist. You have to be your own promoter, even if it's uncomfortable. Um, it just really is the way life works right now. So, for example, my big why is, well, early on, I didn't have a job permit when I first came to Israel. 4 months for, let's see, 7, 8 months that I was here. I couldn't go get a normal job. I had to make this work. And I couldn't work with anyone here, so I could only work with people online. So I had to make it work where I was making relationships and connections only online. So my big why is I needed to have a job only online. I needed to promote myself in order to make money. Why did I want to make money? So I could help Ido. Ido was working super long hours at his full time job, on his side hustle, and I wanted so badly to help him with that. I wanted to make things easier for him. I wanted to also just be, honestly, be a contributing adult again. And when I would feel scared about the social media posts or about friending new people, I would remember that why. I would remember this is for him. This is for our life here. This is so I can save up to travel back home to the US as often as I want. This is so I can help pay the bills around the house so he can work fewer hours. And if you remember those whys, the little things like a social media post or a Facebook Live, it kind of shrinks. It puts it in perspective. It really gets the scale back in, at least for me. Another thing to remember is I have a big post-it I have a post-it problem. I have post-its all over my office, and one of the things about it is I have one post-it. It's bright pink. I don't like pink. Pink is not. I don't like pink, but I've got a bright pink one right over my desk, right in front of it, and in big black Sharpie it says "Perfection is a lie." And I say that because I'm totally can be a perfectionist, and what I do is I use that as an excuse to not move forward. Um, and once again, I want you to remember that perfection is not the goal. So that's my number 5 for you. Remind yourself everyone's social media is idealized. No one is perfect. Everyone is putting their best up on social media. So don't compare to other people. Don't be a perfectionist. Um, it's it causes more harm than good to try and shoot for perfection. And also just as an encouragement, authenticity is endearing. It's attractive. There was one time I had a live video where there's a stray cat that we feed and that she'll come and cuddle with me some days. And in the middle of my live, she just decided to jump over the balcony edge and join me. And I was trying to be professional and focused, and this new thing happened. People thought it was hilarious. They loved it. It was totally fine. It's okay. It's okay if what you what you do comes across as a little messy or a little imperfect. People like authenticity. Um, it really is something that honestly I did some research on. Is authenticity, like being yourself, being that vulnerability, it builds trust. So when you stumble over a word or you misspeak or you have to say, oh, I had to go back and do that, think about it. You're building trust, you're building likability. um, in sales and businesses, it's all about relationships. So think about how much more you trust and relate to someone who's authentic and open about who they are. So don't worry about that in your post. No one's trying to hold you to a standard of perfection. Just be authentic and be honest. And remember that perfection's not the goal. Perfection's a lie. It's not possible. Once again, this is something that I've tripped over myself. And another thing that, a lot of people that I talk to, a lot of my clients, one of their anxieties is, I don't know how to do this. This is really overwhelming. I want to encourage you to educate yourself. This is these are all things a year ago I had no idea how to do. I didn't have a strategy. I didn't know what my strategy should be. I didn't know where to look or start looking. But I promise you, if you want to learn how to do this right, there are resources out there for you. There are YouTube videos if you need to start for free. There are generous, social media influencers who this is what they do full time, is teaching people how to use social media. Follow their profiles, follow their pages. They're probably sharing helpful videos and tips. That's how I started following the business coach that I finally ended up hiring, because she was sharing that information for free and it made sense to me. And if you do get to a point where you want to hire someone to help you with that, there's plenty of people. Alyssa Dillon is the one who got me where I am today, and I'm super grateful for that. But don't let a lack of current knowledge be something that acts as a confirmation that you can't learn this. You totally can. You definitely can learn this. I promise you. Again, this is something that I did not know how to do a few months ago. I felt super uncomfortable doing it. I needed someone else's help to get started. But it's a skill that can be learned. It's not innate. It's not something you're born with. Um, it's something that you can learn. Uh, so, and it does come with benefits. As I've learned and made imperfect posts and uh, stumbled my way around, I've been able to make great connections with wonderful clients, get a whole variety of work, and build up my portfolio. And my experiences have always been of people being kind and receptive and patient because I was showing up. So that's what I would encourage you to do is try these things to get past the anxiety, because it's worth getting past the anxiety. Take action. Start right now. Get off. Write a post right now. Set a time limit. Make sure that you post something and ask someone to help you if you need to. Um, and two, don't get too caught up in everyone seeing it or it being too much. Honestly, there's a good chance they won't see it, which is why we need to post as often as we do for Facebook or other social medias. Number three, write out exactly what you're afraid will happen. That will pull the monster out of the closet and make him a lot smaller. And then you'll have a strategy for how to address that. Four, write out your big why. Write out why it really matters to why it really matters that you're doing this uncomfortable thing. Um, it will help the anxiety shrink in comparison. Number five, remind yourself that perfection isn't the goal and no one else is perfect either. Don't get caught up in comparison. Just be authentic and be okay with being authentic, because it builds trust. People like it. And number six, if you really feel like not understanding enough is holding you back, then take action on educating yourself. You can learn. However, you can have the excuse saying, well, I need to wait until I learn more before I can do it. You should start now. You know why part of that is? There's questions about how often should I post, or when should I post, or when are my followers going to be listening, or what will they respond most to? You know how you find out? By posting, and posting a lot at different times and in different ways. So start posting now, but to get better at it, educate yourself as you're doing it. You'll get better as you go. And once again, these posts decay really fast. So don't worry. You got lots of room for grace, and not everyone's going to see everything you post. So don't worry about it. Anyways, um, hopefully that helps you guys. I am apparently fast losing light here. It's about, I don't know, like 7 o'clock my time? Yeah, it's after 7 o'clock. So, anyways, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I hope that helped. Please, I want you to get on there and talk about yourself, talk about your business. You've got a skill that people need and a personality that people want to work with. So, and it's worth the discomfort of getting over this anxiety. And you can do it. I've been anxious and continue to be anxious sometimes, but it's always worth it. The rewards are always worth it. So hang in there, push forward. I will let you guys go, and I will see you next week, okay? I'll talk to you later. Bye.